Welcome back to another episode of the Way Podcast. Today I have a special guest. I have Austin here with me, um, jack of all trades,
I don't know about that.
coffee connoisseur, film producer, dude. So I guess I met Austin luckily just through my brother Jake, and you've just been a huge blessing, man. It seems like everything that I've asked you about, somehow, some way, you've been able to give me answers. So I appreciate it, dude. Really.
Hey man, that's just how the Lord works. He just connects people at the right time, you know.
Yeah.
I don't have much more though. You've hit everything that I can do so far.
That's all I need, dude.
That's all you got.
That's it. That's it. If I come up with something else, by the time I do, you'll be like, "Oh yeah, dude, I did that for 10 years."
Yeah.
I'm sure.
I've had way too many jobs. It's part of it.
Dude. It really is like insane, man. Like I was thinking about that the other day. Literally everything that we're doing here at the Way, you're like, "Oh yeah. I've done that. Yeah, I've been in that." And so it's worked out perfectly. Austin's been a huge blessing. So glad to have him hang out with me for a minute, man.
Happy to be here, man. It's an honor. It's an honor to see what you guys are doing here in Crossville, and just hear the testimonies, man. Like this whole podcast and the people that you guys have around you, and what you're doing, what you're allowing the Lord to do here is just really special, and He's gonna bless it. I'm just so confident in that, man.
So it's cool, man. Just blows me away every time I think about it. Every time I get to start thinking about it, it's just mind blowing, man. It's over and over and over and over. Like something new blows my mind.
Yeah,
It's crazy. So I wanted to. One thing that I thought would be really cool is like, what do you have going on, man? Like I know what you do for me, but I'm just like a very small portion of what all Austin's got going on, and you have this incredible ministry that you're doing as far as like the adventure stuff, but then also just like in general. I mean, just like what all right now do you have going on?
Yeah, man, that is a loaded question.
Yeah, well, I know.
Man, I mean, in a nutshell, I live in Knoxville, Tennessee, so about an hour from here. And what we're really seeing right now, man, is the result of a few years ago. I found myself not really walking with Jesus at the beginning of 2021. I was a bartender at a restaurant, ended up waiting tables one day, have this guy's table for brunch that we had that day, and I'm serving his table, and he just starts talking to me about myself, and he invites me to this ministry he was starting. And at the time I'm like 21, I'm not really walking with the Lord, and I'm like, maybe, like I'm not really interested in this church thing, like I acknowledge that God exists, and then man, after that I kept running into him all over the city. I'd run into him at parks, grocery stores, coffee shops, and I was like, cannot get away from this guy. And I just hit a rock bottom moment that year, and for some reason I reached out to him, man, and we grabbed lunch, and he just listened, and I left that conversation really for the first time I now realize that was the first time I really experienced like Jesus in somebody, like truly. Mm-hmm. I'd heard people talk about Jesus, but I hadn't seen it before. And after that, man, the church I was attending at the time, they asked me to start a couple Bible studies, and I was like, no. I said no twice. I was like, I know John 3:16. That's all I got. I don't know any scripture. I don't really know how to do this thing called life with Jesus, but I can take pictures. And I had this guy come up to me. He was like, hey, I'm starting this Bible study. We'd be part of it. Long story short, he ends up not showing up to the first Bible study, which resulted in me leading it. It was me and 4 other guys. That Bible study of me and 4 other guys, a month in, turned into 30 guys in my living room. We're not attached to a specific church or anything, and then it just turned into a small community of guys and girls that just went and did adventurous things. We would go hiking, we'd play volleyball, we would worship, we would have Bible studies, and as we went, people joined us, and that turned into, fast forward to today, a community of about 1,000 people, where we have about 10 Bible studies or we have about 10 studies around the city where people just kind of gather around tables and living rooms and they talk about Jesus. They read
Cool.
scripture, talk about Jesus, worship, pray. We have monthly worship gatherings of usually about 400 people show up, and it's to really the heart of it. It's called Night of Unities, and the heart of it is to see unity in denomination and generation. Really, really feel called to see just this death to religion in the city and just in general. So really seeing the walls of denomination torn down. And then Adventure Junkies itself is just a group chat of that community of 1,000 people where there's daily opportunity for a community.
Man, that's so cool, dude. It's so cool. Like that started from one person, like being like, "Hey, man, you should check out this Jesus thing,"
Yeah.
And then from that, it transpired into a Bible study of 4 people, and then 30 people, and then 1,000 people. Like,
Yeah.
dude, it's insane. So how was you just did one recently, right?
Yeah.
And I missed it. I wanted to come.
Oh, it's all good.
How was it?
It was great, man.
Yeah.
It was powerful. Lord just did what he wanted to do, man. It was really cool. It was just
Yeah.
a room of what was really special about these events, man, is like we call them nights of unity, but we're very like we make sure that people realize that unity doesn't start in rooms like that. Unity starts with our individual communion with Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
So when we are all in the secret place, when we are all pursuing him, our personal, like in our bedrooms and our quiet times and praying, inviting him into every moment of our life, that is where unity starts. And then when we have events like that, it is a celebration of what he is doing in our personal lives. So I think we've gotten it wrong. A lot of times, I know at least I have, where we say I want unity, and then we try to get everyone in one room, but really, like, there's many rooms like that. There's many things that are happening like that as a result of unity.
Mm-hmm.
Those aren't proof. Those aren't the unity, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Like unity doesn't start in that room. So we got to see like just a cool room of about 400 people, different ages, different walks of life, very diverse room, man, and just different diverse acts of worship, expressions of worship and prayer, and God just did what he wanted to do with each person there, man. That's really special.
Yeah. That's so awesome, man. If I don't make the next one, I'm going to be really upset.
Yeah.
For sure, I'm marking off the calendar. Next one, I will be
We'll get
there,
you there,
dude.
man. We do them every month, so.
Oh, I'll be there, dude. That's so cool. I love the way, like, I think it was last week or week before, I was just talking about that. Actually, I shared it here at our Bible study, Tuesday night Bible study, talking about that, like, that unity. And, like,
yeah.
it's such a great concept, but, like, us as individuals, if we're like, hey, we're going to get together and everybody's going to be great, like, it doesn't really work that way, you
Right.
know? Like, it's all centered around him.
Yeah.
Like, if my relationship with Jesus is strong and ongoing and building, and the next person's is, and the next person's the next person, then unity's possible. But if we just, like, all get thrown together and nobody's walking with the Lord,
Yeah.
it's gonna fall apart.
Right.
You know? Like,
No, I agree,
that's
man.
the key.
There's a foundation of it, man. I mean, Jesus had the disciples walk with him for 3 years, and he prays in John 17, Father, may they be one as you and I are one.
Mhm.
And really that's what it is. It comes from that foundation of personal intimacy and personal identity in him. That is what real unity is. Otherwise it's just like it's just a room of people.
Yeah. Yeah, man. And I think that's such a cool, like, that's really my heart behind what we've talked about here, and me and you have talked about it, is like this whole denomination thing, man. There's 250, and then there's even more in Knoxville, but in Cumberland County, there's 250 churches.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like,
I didn't
that's a
know that.
lot of churches for a town of, I don't know the population. I'm not going to try to guess, but it's not many.
Pretty sure there's close to 1,000 in Knoxville.
Which is insane. Like, there's so many different denominations, so many different churches, and we're missing that unity because of denominational preference.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think ultimately what it is, man, and I really realized this. We had a group of about 30 people go out to Denver, Colorado last year, and that guy that actually I met that started mentoring me, that I met at the place I bartended at, he
Mhm.
moved to Denver, Colorado to plant a church. And we went out to visit him last summer with a crew. And we're walking the streets out there, man, and it's like predominantly not Christian.
Mhm.
And you'll meet some every once in a while, but for the most part, people out there are very, like, believe in the universe, or they have another religion, or they just are atheists or agnostic.
Yeah.
What was interesting is, man, we go and walk the streets and we're talking to some of these people, and we're just having a normal conversation. And I'll be talking about Jesus without saying the name Jesus. And they're like, yeah, like that's what I'm about. That's what I want. And
Mhm.
I'm like, well, that's Jesus, man. And they're like, oh, I don't know. And I'm like, no, it is. And one thing that I just think is really interesting, man, is like we do live in a part of the world where is an abundance of church,
Yeah.
but like church, congregational church. But one thing I noticed is like this generation and the people that live in cities like that, they are so open minded, whereas those that are within the spirit of religion are very close minded. Like it's easy to come to this place, as I've seen in my life, where I fall into like, I have it figured out. Like I know everything, I've got it all down. I know how to do this life thing. I know how to do this Jesus thing. I'm good.
Mhm.
But really, like, scripture tells us we only know in part, you know? And I think that's the biggest key. And that's what really stirred me when I was in Denver, Colorado. I was like, some of these people, man, they don't know Jesus, but they also know they haven't figured it out. And that's really interesting, you
Mhm.
know?
That's big, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's like, and especially here in the South, and I don't get me wrong, I love the South. Like I love where I'm from. I love living in Tennessee, but like here you see it so like prevalent and so heavy of like people are stuck, dude. Like they're stuck in their ways, and like the minute that what you say doesn't go directly along with their pre-existing beliefs, your argument's over, you know? Like there's no going beyond. If it's not exactly what they've been brought up and what they've been taught, then there's no conversation there. And I think that like what I've seen, and even that I've experienced some myself, and especially like the guys that I have that come in and out of these rooms and in and out of the program, and the girls, like a lot of what I see is they've grown up in this, and
Yeah.
they've grown up with like, well, I did this one thing and then I was excommunicated from the church, or like I didn't agree with the way they did this, and now I'm shunned from the church, or I had a baby at a
Mm.
young age, and I got shunned from the whole church. And I think that like because of that and because of those like religious rules, it's pushed a lot of people away, man. And they
Yeah.
they didn't get the chance to experience Jesus.
Yeah.
They got to experience religion, but they didn't get to experience
Yeah.
Jesus.
I think about like even myself, man, there's so many times where I catch myself falling into it sometimes too, like falling into my own ways and falling into like having expectations and how things are to be done. And
Mm.
ultimately that's what it's a byproduct of. And man, I think the Lord is just raising up a people that really love his church. Like have a genuine love, like a real life love for his church. What does that even mean to have a love for his church? And I just don't think I know it yet. I don't think many know it. Um, but that is where we're gonna see this unity that we're talking about, man. That's where we're gonna see the spirit of religion die.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, I fall guilty to it too. I think it's a human thing, and I just pray. Like I was reading Hebrews 5 the other day, man, and it talks about the high priest and the priesthood, and this one verse it says, "And they were clothed in their weakness." I was like, "What does that? What does that mean?" Like they were clothed in their weakness, and it's following this verse that's talking about how the high priest's role was to care so gently and intentionally for God's people because they're presenting sacrifices for both themselves and God's people, and it's a task that no man signs up for. It's a task that only God calls. And
Mm-hmm.
then it talks about how Jesus is the great high priest and all that, but I just got stuck there, man. Like I want to be clothed in my weakness because that is what
Yeah.
keeps us humble.
Yeah.
That is what keeps us in this place of like, I have no idea how any of this works. There
Mm-hmm.
is a mystery of faith, is what Paul
Yeah.
says in Corinthians, what Paul says in Ephesians, like there is this mystery of the gospel and we are never going to fully understand it. And part of faith is saying yes to stepping into the mystery. And that's part of like the freeing feeling that you get when you follow Jesus is like, I don't know. So I'm not going to try to know. And
Man,
there's no weight on that.
it's good, dude. This was early on, but so when I first got saved, like I really struggled with the Old Testament. And maybe I don't know if I'm the only one, but like it just like I was just such like a realist, I guess, that like it just I couldn't process it in my head. Like I couldn't make it make sense, and I struggled with, I mean, all of like Genesis and Exodus and reading some of those stories. I like struggled to process it, and I looked into Billy Graham, and he talked about having the same exact struggles, and like that he was trying to prove to somebody like that it's historically correct, or that like the book of Genesis really did happen. And he found all these uh not necessarily like that it wasn't true, but like he couldn't scientifically prove that it happened. And he wrote this big uh it's in his autobiography, and he writes this prayer of like he's like, I don't fully understand it, and I'm not going to fully understand it, but I fully trust that you are who you say you are. And obviously I'm paraphrasing, but like when I read that, like it resonated with me, because there's a lot that like I can't unpack, and I don't know if I need to, Like I know who he is, and that's what makes sense to me, and the rest of it, it's like I'm okay with not knowing. I'm okay with just having faith and knowing the one who needs to know. He knows, and I'm good with what I got.
One of the more impactful passages I've been sitting on over the last probably year is in Revelation 4. You have this picture of the throne room, and in the throne room, he's sitting on the throne, but around the throne are all these different creatures, and it talks about how all these creatures, all they do over and over again is fall on their knees singing holy, holy, holy to him. And these are eternal beings, man. They've been next to the throne for all of eternity, and they will be for the rest of eternity. And I think just the thought of like there are beings that are eternal that still come to this place of discovering new things about God in every moment that wreck them.
Yeah.
Eternal beings. Like how great is he if these beings that have been next to the throne for all of time and always will be are still discovering new things about God. I just
Crazy.
like it's really wrecked me, man, and it's like it's really helped me like let go, like cuz I really want to grab onto everything. I really
Yeah.
want to be able to hold it. But
Yeah.
the moment I start holding it is the moment I start walking astray.
Mhm. Man, I never thought about that. I mean,
Yeah.
I've read it, but I've never like really sat and thought like it's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Like
It's wild, man.
eternal beings.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mind blowing, dude.
Yeah, man.
It's crazy. Man, you got me off track with that one, dude. I'm like just stuck in it. Um, so what's the next big thing? I know you have your worship nights. Like, what's your next? Because I feel like you're always into something, dude. I mean, always. You got something big going on. What's your next big thing you got going on?
Man, I don't really ever know, honestly.
Just go with it.
I just kind of yeah, I mean, I have a few like trips planned this year, but
Yeah.
man, I'm just really like stewarding what the Lord's given me in this season, and it's hard for me because I just I'm a person that really just likes to do and likes to go. But right now in this season, the Lord's really teaching me how to sit at His feet and to move on His word, to move with Him, and not to just sit at His feet and then leave His feet and then come back to His feet when I feel like exhausted or burdened or anxious.
Yeah.
Like I don't ever have to live in that. So, anyways, I just right now, man, nothing comes to mind.
Yeah.
Doing stuff with y'all. I'm just stewarding what he's given me in Knoxville, a few trips this year, and just trying to build relationships, because I think with the assignment that he's given me in this season, that's the priority, is just time with him and building relationships, stewarding relationships really well.
It's big, dude. That's
Yeah.
something that like resonates big with me, dude. I'm big on like I know where I need to be, you know, and like I know where I'm supposed to be, and that's like you said, man, just at his feet. But like I'm so quick to be like, okay, well, what's next? Like
Yeah.
where am I going next? Instead of just like, man, just let it happen. Like when I've let it happen, and I sit back and look at my life now, like when I've let it happen, incredible things, incredible things have happened in my life. Like he's
Yeah.
done incredible work, but like when I try to go at my own pace or don't really listen to his voice and I go kind of AWOL or
Yeah.
astray, like when that happens, that's when things get hectic,
Yeah,
you know?
man. I've been sitting on John 10 a lot, man, and where Jesus is talking about my sheep know my voice. And it starts really going into like thieves and robbers, and how the thieves and robbers climb over the fence, and then they are like the voices that are distracting the sheep and that lead the sheep astray.
Mm-hmm.
But how he is the great shepherd and how he leads us to the right pasture. But I was really thinking about earlier today, actually, I had a conversation this morning about how oftentimes I try to be shepherd of my own life, and I don't take the identity of a sheep, when really he's the only voice, he's the only shepherd that I should be following. But then like I also try to like stay in the same pasture, or I try to go find a pasture on my own, when because I don't like the uncertainty of following him to somewhere that I don't know, or
Yeah.
somewhere that's new. And whenever he says my sheep know my voice, I just think we're in a very crucial point in time where we need to learn his voice, man. We need to know
Yeah.
his voice, because there's a lot of voices out there.
Mm-hmm. For sure, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think like that goes back to what we were talking about earlier, like having faith. Like I am so guilty in all aspects of my life. Like I want to know it all, dude. And like I know I don't, and I'm time and time again like prove to myself that I don't know.
Yeah.
But then I catch myself being like, I want to know what's next. I
Yeah.
want to know where I'm going. I want to know what's happening. But every time that I stress about it, like I realize that I'm just causing myself anguish for no reason, you
Yeah.
know? Like I know that he's in control and I know that I'm taken care of, but yet still like I'll sit earlier today I sat and I was like, man, I got an interview with somebody like next week and I got this going on and that, and I'm like stressing about what's going to happen and like
Yeah.
it's no, dude, he's in control. Like I need to have faith in all aspects, not just what I know as far as my walk and my faith and the answers that I can give somebody, but just in my whole life, like I just
Yeah.
more faith,
I
who
just
he
think
is.
I just think Jesus lived really simply, man, and he made us to live simply as well. And we
Mm-hmm.
overcomplicate it because of everything that we're talking about, how much control we want of our lives,
Mm-hmm.
when really we weren't built to bear any sort of weight of any control of any kind. Really, we were just created to be in the garden.
Yeah, dude.
That's what we were created for. But man, I really have loved being able to be in the room with you and all the guys that you've interviewed thus far, just because like you guys talk a lot about like addiction and how Jesus has kind of come in and interrupted the life of addiction.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think it's really like for everybody listening and watching, like it's just these are stories that need to be heard. It's like
Yeah.
Jesus does it over and over again. I think the woman at the well, like it's like what he does in people's lives, like it's that story that changes lives. It's
Yeah.
the testimonies of these guys that you're getting on here that are going to change lives and that people need to hear.
Yeah, man. I agree. I'm excited. I'm excited to keep going. And
Me too.
man, it's just. I mean, you've been here, and it's just like it's crazy. And I think I maybe said this in maybe the first episode or something, but like he's not a god of miracles 2,000 years ago. Like it's today, right now, it's happening, and people are sitting across from me and talking about it. And
Right.
it's all around us. But like you see these guys that like you think, and even speak for myself, like think I'm never gonna get it, man. I'm never gonna figure it out, and just comes in and, like you said, just interrupts
Yeah.
it. It's like, hey, no, I got you.
Yeah.
It's cool, man. It's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah,
Cool.
man.
Well, hey, glad you joined me, man.
Yeah, man.
We'll see you guys next week.
See you guys.